How's it going, guys? We're here to check out what's coming up with Rust, and it's been a lot of quality of life fixes. That's been the basic general focus of the team, and they've been working at getting that to us. So that's basically been the main focus here. We've seen a lot of stuff. There's some raiding changes, there's some gun changes, and a lot of things that were just kind of busted, broken, or not quite functioning the way they were supposed to, and have been fixed. So let's start out with a couple of simple things here. Barricades, this is a quality of life thing, and also code locks, all now stacked to 10. So you don't have to completely destroy your entire inventory just for that to happen. To place, 20, 30 barricades somewhere. Also, vending machines were used for an exploit where you could clip them out of the world. That is no longer possible. And another squash to another exploit is stacking shelves. You can no longer do that. There's no way. They got rid of it. No more weird towers and helicopter glitches and stuff like that. Gone. Taken away from you. One thing people are asking for, though, is picking up shells, and the devs said the issue with that is what happens if you accidentally pick it up and then you dump all your boxes worth of stuff on the ground. And yeah, it's a huge pain, but maybe they can get a confirmation for us or a hold for so many seconds. I don't know. I'm sure they'll figure something out. They're pretty awesome guys out there working on the game. Now, we also have another little quality of life thing, the drop box. Previously, if it got damaged, there we go, I didn't realize that never went off, you couldn't repair them. They are actually repairable now. We'll have to give that a few seconds to do its thing. So in the meantime, let's talk about something else. The compound bow has seen a few changes. One would be its price. It is now from 75 to 25 metal fragments, making it a little bit easier to craft. Also, when just shooting it normally without the charge, it should pretty much behave like the normal bow. It does the same damage, same effects, same things move. Also, as you'll see with the arrows, tracers are much more visible and easier to kind of follow, but they only go about a quarter of the distance now. Of course, that has to do with performance and so forth, so that's a nice little additional change right there for us. Talking about other changes, the muzzle brake wasn't properly reducing recoil. It now should. Of course, that's going to bring in a whole new AK laser spraying meta that everyone's already complaining about, and yeah, we'll just have to kind of see where that kind of goes on that one. But hey, I'd rather have something functioning the way it was meant to otherwise. It also reduces damage by 15%, so you can see that -15 right here. That is a additional little change there. The silencer not only has seen its description properly, put together, but you can also see it does 25% damage now to the weapon as well. That means one SAR with a explosive ammo can barely almost break a garage door. So that's something some people might not be too happy about. Really just depends on what side of it you're with, but let's be honest, explosive rating, or silent explosive bullet rating, was kind of OP anyways. So other changes that have happened to it, you can actually hear it from a lot further away. So I have sounds turned up as best I can. You hear it kind of that crack with an echo. You can definitely hear it, quite a bit further. We'll go ahead and take the silencer off. You can hear this as a deep further echo to it now as well. So yeah, that's a few things that happen there. Some people aren't going to be happy about it, other ones are. It just kind of depends who you are. And talking about those changes, so there's now a blocker system that came back all the way from Legacy, and it's basically to prevent people from instantly blocking you out during a online raid. Some people are happy about this, some are not. So let's go ahead and kind of look at it. So basically, I'm being raided. They're going to blow out my wall over here. I'm ready. I got my building plan. Boom. Oh, I can't do anything. What's going on? What's going on? Well, that's because there's this little guy right here. But it has 100 health, and this is actually an intended feature. If you want, you can quickly hit it with some explosive damage on your end. Let's say you kill the guys and you're still on this timer, like let's say they blew themselves up, you can actually shoot it away and place a new thing down before it actually would have broke. So that's, you know, if you want to sacrifice, like say a C4 real quick or a quick rocket, it only has 100 HP, so you could hit that thing with like an HV. Maybe you toss an instant in there, it kills the dudes and it breaks that, and you can place a wall. Well, I guess the wall is gonna burn, kind of like this one just did. As you can see though, when it burned, a new one came back. So that also means if you do anything what a lot of builders like to call building with bullets, where instead of using the hammer to delete, you shoot out the wall. Well, guys, that's not a valid way of building anymore. You are going to have to make sure you use the hammer. So, hey, but that affects a small amount of people. Of course, they could always take this feature away from Twig to fix something like that. Now, the question is, well, okay, how does this work with doors? And boom, we will show you. While those explode, let's go get out our examples. So the big thing people do all the time is shop fronts. Well, guys, they've had the blocker here too. No more shop fronts, no insta-door. You can see no insta-door. Of course, just like I showed over here, you can shoot it out or blow it out to place it quicker. So yeah, that's kind of the changes to it. Go ahead and sound off how you guys feel about it. I was fine with it in Legacy. I think that if you're quick enough, creative enough, you can still pull a play and do all right. It just depends, but yeah, it kind of does feel like it's hurting. Right now, it has always been easier to raid in the game than it is to defend. You know, traps are easily drained. There's only so much you can do, and that this is a whole separate update that will come eventually in the future. It's on the roadmap, but a raiding rebalance. Okay, that means on both sides, try to do something to discourage gigantic bases, but also make it to where, you know, you don't have to worry about being offline as bad. So it's going to be hard for them to balance. We'll just have to see how that goes, but that is something in the future, guys. So remember, this is just some small little changes to raiding. Don't go and like freak out completely. It's always subject to change. The devs do listen with reason, so you know, keep that in mind. Another little thing I wanted to go ahead and show over here is something that's quite cool. You've probably maybe caught it. Oh, whoa, whoa. Wrong buttons. You may have caught it while I was in my inventory. The hazmat suits have gotten a bit of an upgrade. So if you look at the Peacekeepers, it now says Cobalt, and it's all like muddy and dirty. They've been busy walking around. You know, the gloves are faded and dirty, but they've got all these little Cobalt symbols on them now. They've been redone. They look really great, and the Peacekeepers have a different stylized look to their helmet. It's actually a square visor on it, where I'm wearing the blue suit. So let's go ahead and take a look here. You can see it's got the rounded visor that we're used to. So it's kind of cool. They do have a nice, distinct, different look to them, and I love it. I think they did a really good job on it, and it's another just like fine little detail that just kind of makes everything feel a little more alive. Speaking of letting a little more alive, the Bandit Town and the Outposts are getting a complete like rework to the lighting systems. This is a performance and just a environmentally awesome thing, but you know, mainly performance, I'm sure, is what everyone cares about there. Better lights, better performance, and just more of a realistic, nice look. Kind of like the Cargo Ship God's overhaul and Military Tunnels has. So that's definitely a neat little thing. Of course, there's, you know, a couple pictures there you've been able to look at. On the subject of fixing messed up names and descriptions, the recycler is now actually a recycler and no longer a furnace. That's something that's been irking a lot of people's OCD, and the devs went ahead and Alistair knocked out a ton of those things that had just like incorrect little pieces to it. So if it seems like they've missed one, you seem to catch it after next patch, go ahead and send it to them. I'm sure they'll get it next time. No big deal there. On the subject of exploits, we did cover there was an exploit with the vending machine. Well, there's also a few exploits with the actual balloon. What a lot of people would do is go ahead and land it and then make it so that they were in here. And then while you're in here, you could shoot out at people, but they couldn't shoot you. And that has been fixed. You can't even shoot when in it at all. So if you're tangled in it, you're literally tangled in it. Someone's going to have to move the balloon, or you're gonna have to try to like wheel your way out of here, which is not very easy unless you have no clips. So yeah, no more hiding in your balloons, guys. It got taken away, you had your fun, but let's be honest, it's pretty cheap. So I'm glad that is something that got removed and taken care of. Now, fractional reloading. This is something people have been begging for. And some people may feel it's not really that much of an important thing, but when you take one shot and you have to reload 4 bullets, it's kind of stupid and weird and doesn't make sense. It also can cost you the time between that very crucial shot you could make. Well, this frustrated a lot of people who are really into PvP, and it's something that Hulk has wanted to do for a while, but it's a bit of a task. Well, he took the time and knocked it out, and it's quite an awesome feat. To kind of understand it, the best way I can describe how important it is with a pump beat. So let's say we're fighting someone and we unload, and I'm about to die, right? And I have to load 6 bullets? No, I can interrupt it and do 1, finish the guy off, and I lived. If I had to have loaded all 6, I would have been sitting here dead. So it's kind of, that's why it's actually like such an important thing and why so many people have asked for it. And it's just so awesome that Hulk went ahead and knocked it out. This, of course, applies to all the guns that are going to be pump action or bolt action in the game. Of course, that is these 3 currently, but who knows what might be added in the future. Speaking of future guns, I showed off the flamethrower. We've got a couple more visuals from Tom's art station that I wanted to go ahead and show you. I talked to Hulk, and he's saying they are hoping to get the flamethrower and the grenade launcher in this next patch, but it's not 100% yet. What will make it in, however, he confirmed with me, the large oil rig will be making its debut with the update on the 4th, and the excavator is scheduled to be in next month, and it seems to be right on track. On subject of the excavator, a lot of people are kind of wondering what it will probably do. Well, I have a feeling we're going to have to restore electricity to it and then get it fueled. Why? Well, there's a diesel motor that was added in commits to the excavator monument itself, and some other commits talking about an engine and a core, and I'm thinking what we can do is maybe power it up, get it some juice, and it will give us buku massive awesome, you know, ore and sulfur or something, you know, metal frags up the wazoo, high qual, who knows. And I think it's going to be a really cool thing, and it's going to be neat to fight over that kind of a monument. And I'm very excited to see what they're doing with it. They said they want to do something special, so it's not just going to be like another static quarry. It will be in the desert part of the map. That is 100% confirmed. So this will be a very interesting thing. I'm always excited to see new little things in the game that just aren't just a static monument, you know, like the one over there. And it actually does something really cool. Do keep in mind that the team is slowly trying out new stuff, and eventually will upgrade puzzles on all the other stuff to kind of be on par with the rest of these new kind of rad towns and so forth. So it's a beginning to a nice work in progress with that. So yeah, guys, this has been kind of a long video, but there's been a lot to talk about, a lot of nice quality of life changes and so forth that just is really awesome that the team has done. There is also a new silencer coming in. It's like a little oil can, so kind of like a primitive version of the silencer. I have no idea any extra information on it, and I unfortunately was not able to get visuals. So we'll have to wait till next week on that one. But I'm sure if we all keep an eye on Tom's art station, it'll eventually pop up on there. But that's it, guys. That's the majority of the important stuff to cover of what's being fixed. There's also a lot of optimizations, of course, going on in the background as well. So, you know, keep an eye out for that. Hopefully that should help a lot of people. I know that they are working really hard on the pooling system right now. And basically it's just the object pooling, I guess, I don't understand how all this works. So basically it's pre-instanced items during gameplay. So it reduces the need to create and destroy them on the fly, which causes a lot of issues with hitching on CPUs. So that's kind of what they're working on right there. And I just realized, guys, I have almost forgot something that is very important. Fall damage, guys. No longer will sleepers float. So if you, you know, log off on the top of a tree, someone chops it down, you will fall down with the tree. If you try to do the disconnect trick to get down to one of those bucket caves, you will fall and die before you can log back in. There's no longer flowing bodies. Bodies completely obey gravity, guys. So if a building is destroyed underneath someone, the sleepers in that room will fall to the ground, and depending on the height of which the sleeper falls will determine whether or not they die. So, you know, it could just fall down to the next floor and that's that, or if it's a certain amount of distance, the same that would kill you if you jumped off or down you will fall. And the other thing is, if you get downed, you will no longer should no longer float in the air as well either. So, you know, when the teammate falls and gets down halfway up a building, you're like, well, I can't res you, guy, sorry. they'll either fall and die, or they'll fall to the actual ground where you can res them. So that's a very, very nice little fix as well. It gets rid of an exploit, but it also gets rid of a really annoying bug when you're trying to work with your friends. So that does it, guys. I know it's been a long one. Thanks for sticking with me. The skin videos should be out shortly. And as always, thanks for watching, guys. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week for the big update of quality of life. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one.